Messy Mondays. Your girl show me. Your girl Marley Marr. Messy Mondays. Messy Mondays. Welcome to Messy Mondays. This is episode number what, Marley? Your girl
28.
28. And
on my 31st birthday.
I was going to say, I wish you were turning 28 right now, because that would have been perfect. It's like episode 28 for the 28th.
That would have been perfect, but no. It is I still say that I'm 29 because I didn't get to celebrate my 30th.
Okay.
But it is my 31st birthday, and I'm excited. It's
Happy
been a
birthday,
really great day.
Marley Marr. She
Thank
is
you.
31. That is awesome.
It's been a really good day. The day isn't over. It's only 6 o'clock for me here. But, it's this compared to how I did it last year, being out here by myself, and just reflecting of how the year has changed because I've made friends and made connections and how different jobs, like all these things happening. So it's been a really good day and reflecting on that.
And you know what? For those of people who listen to us and are afraid and they're having a hard time maybe this year, I think your story is awesome because it's like this time last year, you were probably in such a different space mentally, emotionally, everything. Like you were on edge, you had anxiety, you didn't know if this was a good decision, like what the hell was I thinking? You know what I mean? So it's like, look at the progress and look at what you've done. You're inspiring people out there, Marley. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm happy to do so. So it's been a great day, and thank you everyone for the love. The text messages, people don't realize still that there is a 3-hour difference, but that's fine. We'll all learn. It's been a year, but we can continue learning.
Yes, and also, you went to go see Hamilton? Did you go see Hamilton?
Yes.
Oh my God, culture classic, first of all. Like, this is unbelievable.
My mom, my dad, and my sister chipped in together to buy me a ticket. That's how expensive it is.
Wow.
Not that, it's not, it's pricey.
It's pricey if you're living on a budget. You feel me? Everyone listens to us. Not everybody we know has extra cash. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not Manhattan either, but it's because of what the show is.
Right.
And, that this is the show. It was absolutely amazing. I encourage everyone to at least do your best to try and figure out to go see it or buy the DVD, something. But I love musicals. I enjoy Broadway. I enjoy shows and those kind of things. But this is something different. And because I am a person who loves hip hop, and Lin-Manuel Miranda is a person of the culture of hip hop. Right. This will crack you up every time something comes in, and you'll be like, this fool. Like, they have a rap battle scene as opposed to a debate. Like,
that's
how dope that is?
Yeah, that's so dope.
George Washington is holding a mic. I'll be like, all right, you next. It's like 8 Mile. Like, that's so insane. Cool. I
admire what this man has created. This is amazing.
And so I'm a little nerdy and interested in history, right? Like, it's regular American history. We can go into something else later about that. But still, I'm a lover of all these things, and I feel that is wrapped up into all of that. And yes, I've already knew all the songs because I listened to the album when it came out because I was so in love with it, just seeing
because you're
TV
like a low-key dork.
I'm absolutely. I am a low-key nerd. And so it was just everything. It was everything. And that's what makes this weekend so special is because I was satisfied. I'm so satisfied.
Right.
Almost. I think that's the word.
It was well-rounded.
Yes, because I finally saw the musical I've been dying to see for 1.5 years, 2 years. I'm going, I have these friends that I'm celebrating with and all this love coming in.
You are around money, and that always makes people feel good.
Yes. But I think all of it, I've had such a great weekend, very relaxed weekend. I went to the spa, got a facial, all these things that this weekend has, and I think it's prepared me for what the year is to come.
And by the way, me and Marley, we video conference while we're doing our podcast because it allows us to have a conversation. This girl got her face all done up because she going out right after the recording. You better be posting.
This girl is beat.
Because she is looking super cute, guys. I cannot wait until she lets everyone in Seattle know it's her birthday and she is fly. You feel me?
I'm out here in Seattle. And that's the thing. I was having a conversation with friends, and I know we're going to talk about a little bit more about relationships, but I think this weekend has set me up to be like, okay, you have to open up to the dating scene that is Seattle.
Yes, I love it.
So that'll be for another podcast another day.
Yes. And tonight, shout out to the organization Women in Radio. For those of you who are wanting to follow them, that's literally their name on all social media platforms. Instagram is where I follow them mostly. I love this organization. This is something to unify all women that work in broadcasting and media, in public relations, in program directors, all of that in one. This was well needed, and a beautiful young lady is the spearhead of this. It was awesome. It's their second annual dinner, and they invited us. And unfortunately, Marley couldn't come because she's all the way in Seattle, but I came to represent our podcast. It had really great guests, really great performances. There was a performance to shout out to Tanir. I know her from when I used to work on the radio. Sweet girl, pop artist, expressing her struggles of being a dark-skinned black woman that sings pop and like alternative rock. And that's awesome. Says, every time someone meets her, they're like, oh, what R&B song are you singing? She's like, I don't do R&B. You know what I'm saying? So she was just discussing how at times, she hates that she has to be living this stereotype. It was very interesting. She's actually going to be on the show very soon. A really smart girl. I want to shout out to Super Cindy and to Stitches. These are local radio personalities here in Miami, and they are really popular, and people have been listening to them for years, and they gave us advice. I had the pleasure of having a conversation with Super Cindy, and I posted it on my social media. She was dope. She was speaking her Spanglish. She's Dominican and Haitian, and she's like, listen, people sometimes don't even respect the fact that I am Dominican because I look black, and like no one wants to give me a lane in the Spanish world. You know what I mean? So it's like these are the kind of conversations that need to start, surfacing so that we all can understand that these are real issues, guys. Like we all have the same issues. It has nothing to do with the fact that we all speak a different language. It exists in every culture. So it's like, it was very interesting.
Super Cindy definitely falls into the line of people, and I guess because of growing up in Miami, it falls in line for me as an influence, as part of that my Angie Martinez list.
Absolutely.
And Super Cindy falls in that for me because I remember waking up in the mornings, getting dressed. You turn on the radio, and she was on the morning show with Uncle Al and Super Cindy, or Al and Super Cindy, like just hilarious. And I remember being like a teenager or middle school getting ready for that. So definitely shout out to Super Cindy. She is like literally the legend of Miami. Women in radio.
For sure. We love the fact that you're still doing what you're doing. You're still pretty. You're still attractive. Like, you know how they say, oh, women, you have a face for radio. Usually it's like not attractive people. But I'm going to be real with you. Like, hopefully when they start posting pictures on the actual IG, you're going to see there was so many beautiful women there. Like, done up. Everybody was dressed up. Everybody took it seriously. Everybody took it with respect. Everybody came in there with formal attire. It was beautiful. The food, everything. Thank you. Shout out to the event. And I hope to be there next year. You know what I mean?
I hope to be there next year also.
Yes. And thank you for everyone who listened to our last episode that was able to get to know me and Marley a little bit better with our questions. I actually got a lot of positive feedback on this episode. They're like, yo, it was really fun to like listen to you guys and like get to know you. And for those of you who participated in some of the questions, thank you. We will be shouting out the best answers. That is a promise. And I will continue to present you with more pictures so you guys can answer more questions.
Yeah, follow us on Messy Mondays podcast on IG. People have some great people that I know too. We're having some really good conversation on here, especially like, how do you prefer to be broken up with? Like, which, is it you or yourself? Like, there were some great answers, and thank you guys for participating. This was really fun, and you see people at their best and at their worst, and like when you have to make a decision, it's pretty tough. And but some people are pretty clear on what their decision is and what their options are. And that really describes a lot about a person.
Yeah, and even those of you who shared the advices that have inspired you was really awesome, because like it kind of gives, those are like hidden gems that we all would benefit from, like a few people said some really dope things in regards to advice they have gotten. So make sure to check out our page so you can see for yourself and participate in the conversation. That's at Messy Mondays Podcast on IG and on Marty Pod on Facebook. And those are our two platforms that people are the most vocal, so we would love for you guys to join in.
The Oscars are on tonight, too.
The Oscars, it's starting to get on my nerves that, like, we're supposed to hate the Oscars, but it's still the most prestigious fucking award. Like, pick a lane.
That's a lot of things for me. Like, people don't like the Grammys, but it's the most prestigious award you can get. But
that's what I'm saying.
I think all of that is dependent upon how much you really think your craft is deserving of an award. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? Like, if I work hard for something, and all depending upon if you are a person who likes or cares to be awarded in some way or recognized.
I mean, I don't think anyone who has a competitive nature doesn't want to be recognized. And I think that if you want to be an artist, you have a competitive nature to you. Because it's like you still believe you have the best music. You have the best song that came out this year. Your music is the best. You have the best lyrics. I mean, isn't that what artists should think, right? Like, you don't put out a song and be like, my shit was kind of whack. You know, like, no. You be like, yo, my song was great.
I guess it depends upon your competitive spirit. Yeah. It's depending upon, like, if that's really what it is or if you are a lover of the craft and just as long as you're doing it, you're happy. So there's those two variations of it. True. Most people don't get Oscars and are happy just continue acting, though. Right? Like, Leonardo DiCaprio, we were happy with Leonardo DiCaprio all of our lives. You can't say, like, no one can say shit that Leonardo DiCaprio isn't, like, our generation. Or Denzel. Well, Denzel's been awarded plenty of times. But, like, Leonardo has been in movies that are stupid and dumb that we love.
Leo is definitely, like, one of our Al Pacino, Robert De Niro's. He's one of our... He's there. He's going to be one of the American actors that is like...
Yeah. And so he's never won the Oscar until recently, but we were like, with or without the Oscar, he's still amazing. But he's was the deserving,
man, actually.
But he was deserving of the Oscar, and I think for us, we were we were so excited as his generation who's watched him and loves him, right? Because he's deserving of that award. Although it's just connected to one film, I think overall we're like, yo, he's the shit overall. And was deserving of that. So,
but that's another thing with the Oscars, in my opinion. Like, the Oscars at times is kind of like they award you not only because, in my opinion, they don't only award you for that one role. Like, I feel like they do take into account that you've been, you know, you're great in another way. Like, I don't think that they don't use that bias, because I think they do.
And that's the thing about a lot of, remember, in order to be nominated, you're voted, right? Like, people who vote in these situations are previous award winners or people who are in the membership and those kind of things that have a membership for a reason. And you have to pass certain validations and certain tiers in order to become a member in some way, shape, or form and pay your dues. And you're right. I think people do have a bias, but hopefully they don't. Like, you hope that they don't plug that in. Like, the Grammys is a thing where that becomes really difficult. Like, really
But subjective. Isn't that based on numbers on the Grammys, or am I confused?
That's like billboards.
Okay, the billboards, got it.
It's strictly numbers. The Grammys is another subjective thing, too, because I may love a Taylor Swift album, right? But I can't vote. Why should I vote in the folk country music if my only love is actually just country music, or my only love is hip hop? I shouldn't be made to also vote in all these other categories just because I'm a member. Does that make sense?
I understand.
Because that messes around with what the actual
because it's like is. But then again, I'm assuming the people that are selected to do this voting are subject matter experts in some degree.
They're all winners. They've all have an Oscar or a Grammy or something. You're all in the thing.
Right. And
you have to vote.
Isn't the symbolism of a Grammy is
your
that
peers.
Even though you won in your category, the reason you're getting a Grammy is because your music is good to everybody.
No.
In a way, because it's like these major songs that are being nominated are songs that were played like crazy throughout the entire United States. And for a song to get to that point that is like super big is because it has numbers behind it somehow.
I don't think any numbers, not numbers. Popularity might play a part, but numbers aren't supposed to play a part in Grammys. Like popularity and like.
Then how does this work? That doesn't make sense. There has to be some type of science or math to it.
Popularity plays in it because the people who are voting are gonna put in songs that are currently popular. You get nominated through the vote system. So I will receive, let's say, all 3,000 songs that came out in 2018 for hip hop, right?
Right.
I go through that list and I'll select all my things that I enjoyed.
That's ones you enjoyed.
Exactly. That's the popularity part. But none of it has numbers to do with it.
Right. But at the end of the day, of course, it has to do with numbers because the way that shit gets popular now is because it gets drilled into us.
That's if I'm biased. If I'm biased while I'm looking at my sheet, that's where I'll do it. But numbers are not supposed to. Right. This is not supposed to.
I get it. But
right.
The reality is that the person is being influenced somehow.
The person with the ballot can possibly be influenced in some way, shape, or form. And that's what makes it difficult, especially now in the social media age, because I guess back then they probably had more of a less biased opportunity if it was 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
Okay.
Or something in that sense.
I can see that being a concern. Well, another really special thing that me and Marley are starting for this month is that we are doing a March Madness mix-up, but the women's podcast radio world version, okay? You know how March Madness, we mix podcasts. Well, sorry, I jumped the gun. You know how March Madness is teams against teams, and it's like college sports, and it's a huge thing, and it's fun, and everybody gambles. Really cool. Now we're doing our own thing where we're kind of playing off of the name, but it's March Madness, getting to know other radio personalities and other podcasts. Tonight we're starting it. We actually have a really, really dope stand-up comedian, smart, funny, beautiful woman that lives in New York City, has 2 podcasts that she's on, and she's going to join us in just a moment. She's going to be joining our room, and we're going to talk about a fantastic subject, and I'm so excited, guys, because she's so funny. Like, I have so much excitement about right now because I know you guys are going to have a blast tonight. All right, everybody, welcome Tracey. She is our special guest. Ooh. I'm going to let her introduce herself because this girl got so many different things going on. I'm going to just let her tell her the best.
Oh my God, thank you guys so much for having me. So I have a podcast called Teen Mom Trash Talk, which recaps MTV's Teen Mom OG, Teen Mom 2, 16 and Pregnant, all of that amazing stuff. And I also have another podcast called Neurotica, which we talk about sex and anxiety on with my co-host Justin Silver. And I'm a stand-up comedian here in New York City.
Wow.
How awesome, right?
I love it.
I told you she was going to go, Marley. I sold you before you even got on here, by the way.
Well, because I'm a lover. Like, my way to relax myself when it comes to anxiety and stress and those kind of things is everything, I guess, as they call it, trash TV. Right?
Oh, I love it.
Reality TV. And so the way to, like, kind of remove myself from all the foolishness and drama that I have going on at work or whatever is get home, turn on Bravo.
Exactly.
Or turn on something and just be like, I'm just going to enjoy the foolishness that is on the screen.
It makes you feel better about yourself.
Basically.
That's how I started it, yeah.
Is that how you started it?
That's exactly how I started it. I always figured, like, as a teen, I was so out of control and I was so bad. And I used to watch, like, the out of control teens on Maury. And I'm like, at least I'm not like that. And then I just got so addicted to, like anything like the 16 and Pregnant series. Right now I'm watching 90 Day Fiancé because I'm like, at least I'm not that crazy.
Are you watching Love After Lockup?
I haven't watched that yet, but my other co-host is watching that right now.
Show me. You have to watch Love After Lockup.
I'm excited about that one.
What? You want to hear? You're going to die when I tell you what this is about. So it's about women and men who are in love and have lovers or in relationships with people who are locked up.
Okay. But these are people that met like pen pal shit or like
pen pal?
Or
pen
were they
pal-ish?
like together and then she decided to write it out with him?
There's only one person who was together with the person and like they met they were only dating for like 2 months and then he got locked up and then she wrote it out with him for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like it's a little
Impressive.
much. No, it gets crazy. And then a lot of them were all pen palish, and it's the reason why it's called Love After Lockup is because I guess when the filming started is right when these people were just getting out.
Right.
Or like a week or 2 or 3.
So
a
they're
month,
seeing how
whatever,
they
before
like
getting
kind
out.
of adapt to the outside world.
Yes, and when I tell you guys the hilarity,
Oh, it's never
like,
great.
It's not even hilarious. It's like what?
That shit sounds fucking sad as fuck to me.
It is.
No,
I've
it's-
been in this situation before.
Really?
You dated someone that was
I dated a
locked
guy
up?
from. Listen, I dated this guy. I went to college with him, and everything was great. He was a really nice guy. And then we lost touch for a few years, and we found each other again years later, and we started dating. And a few months later, he got locked up.
For what?
Wow.
You know, well, for what? He says nothing.
Oh, my bad. We know how that goes.
The state of New York says he sold drugs, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, and he was absolutely insane. But he was so cute, and I loved.
Wait,
I
so
loved,
how
like,
long did you keep this shit up, honestly?
I was like, he was in jail. I think he was in jail for like 3 months, and I wrote him letters. We talked on the phone all the time, and I thought it was so funny.
Funny. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was so funny. It was like, just talking to my friends. I'm like, yeah, my boyfriend's in jail. I don't know. I guess because I didn't really take it that seriously, it was kind of funny to me.
That shit is crazy.
And these people take it for real.
Oh, yeah.
People
I
get
can take it
married
for
while
real.
they're in jail with
No,
people
the
that are
whole,
doing
like-
life sentences. What is that?
Majority of these storylines is they're waiting and so excited this person's getting out so they can go get married. And it's
Yeah.
about getting to the altar. It's like, and my thing is like, see, you, Tracy, you knew that person, right? Like,
Oh
you
yeah,
had
I knew
some
him
sort
for
of
years,
connection with
and
him.
it was very surprising that that happened.
Yeah.
We
But
had gotten
complete
into a
stranger?
fight. Yeah, we had gotten into a fight, and he didn't call me back. And I figured, I'm going to hold out. I'm not going to call him. I'm going to let him call me. And he did. He called me 2 weeks later, and it was from the correctional institution. So,
Wow.
Yo, when I tell you that's
Yeah.
the best excuse I've ever heard in my life, like
Right?
it's like
He's
how
like,
can
"I'm
you
sorry, I was
not
in
forgive
jail."
this nigga? Like he is not lying. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
now anytime I get a phone call when Global Tellink calls, I'm like, oh, no thanks.
Damn. Oh, so you didn't even stay with him.
No, I mean, he got out, and he broke up with me, which... honestly, I think he had like 3 girlfriends. But I mean, I thought it was funny.
This guy had
I
a
was
lot of
like,
game.
He was so cute though.
That's
He
why.
must be cute.
Oh,
like,
he was
fun.
really
like
good
like
looking.
I'm stupid cute. You know what I'm saying?
I'll send you ladies a picture.
So he was
Please
sending
do.
out his picture to all these girls, like in his envelopes and like just shooting them out.
I went to
People
visit
do-
him.
Really?
Yes.
How long was that ride?
Oh my, no, well, it was actually just like the county jail that he was in. He was
Oh,
in
okay,
jail,
okay.
he wasn't in prison.
In prison? No, these characters are in prison.
Yeah, in prison. They took my bra though. I couldn't wear a bra when I
Yeah,
went.
because you can't have wired bras to go inside of a correctional facility. It's like a weapon. Well, it depends on how big your titty is, actually.
These double D's.
These motherfuckers might really do some damage, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, these double D wires under here will
Yeah.
cause a problem. I've never had to visit anyone.
I haven't had the pleasure either, to be honest. I'm not
I don't
really
think it's
interested.
a
I really
pleasure.
hope no one I love gets locked up because I do not want to have to do that.
No, I know people who were. I just
Yeah,
they weren't people
in the
that I need
past,
to visit.
right.
Yeah, like I have no business, no need to visit you.
That's what I'm saying.
So-
Someone that I love, I hope you're not in that situation. Please don't get locked up so I don't have to do that. That's what I'm saying.
Please, because that drive is long, especially in Florida. Them things are far.
Yeah, it's pretty far. Everything
get
is
to
far
one-
here. What I was saying is that don't go to jail. But what we're going to do is focus on our actual subject matter tonight, okay? We have a topic, and I'm going to introduce the topic with this song by Frank Ocean because I feel like it's perfect and it's going to lead us into the right direction here. Let's play that real quick.
No, I was just telling that I got this girl before, and I was together since 3 years, and I was not even cheating her or what. And Facebook arrived, and she wanted me to accept her on Facebook, and I don't want it because I was like in front of her, and she told me like accept me on Facebook. It was virtual, means no sense. So I said I'm in front of you. I don't need to accept you on Facebook. She started to be crazy. She thought that because I didn't accept her, she thought I was cheating. she told me like it's over. I can't believe you. I said, come on, you're crazy. So like I'm in front of you. I'm every day here in your house. But it means like it's jealousy, pure jealousy, for nothing. Virtual thing.
So, there we go. We're going to discuss being in a romantic relationship with someone and the social media rules and how it plays out and what we think about that.
So in this story, he was saying that the girl he was dating wanted him to accept her on Facebook or like on social media, right?
Well, Facebook on this particular situation. She didn't appreciate the fact that they weren't friends on Facebook. And then she was bugging out and they broke up because of it.
So maybe about 8 years ago, I would have felt that same way at a younger point in my life. Like it was important. But I think, and I haven't been in a relationship in some time, I don't think I would care. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if I have that same attachment to it that I did then, right? To social media. The attachment of like being the forefront and like making sure like people saw and knew. And maybe it was because of the person I was with or like there was a lot of drama behind it, like whatever. But I don't think I have, and I don't know yet, I guess until I'm in this situation.
But I think in a way we have to all admit, I mean, especially us is a little different, but like in general, human beings at this moment, if you're like from a certain age demographic, your social media is kind of like your resume. You feel me? Like it kind of tells people what's going on right now.
Yeah.
In the story of me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what we've gotten to right now. So everybody kind of has to like, if you are a social media person, if you don't, you don't. But if you are on the social media limelight and you're always out there, you kind of keep people up to date with your life. So it's kind of like this, Marty. Like if you're a part of my life, you're going to come up somewhere, somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, what the big issue is in the relationship in 2018.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that the difference between, back when we had MySpace or, something like that and how it is now is that MySpace was kind of like, sometimes it started off like not real life, right? Everyone used to say MySpace isn't real life. MySpace is MySpace. And then I think as the features evolved, you remember the top 8? Everyone had the top 8 friends.
Right.
That was
like beef.
That was super beef because it was like, okay, now you have to show who do you like the best?
Yes.
And then there was like all those add-ons where you could do your top 16, your top 32. And,
it got crazy at one point.
Because people were going nuts. And I think that is around the time when Facebook started booming. Because, Facebook at first was just for colleges.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it really wasn't real life. I mean, honestly, the only thing that I used to post on Facebook when I was in college is, maybe the pictures of parties that we were at on the weekend. But it wasn't anything crazy. Right. And then I think as Facebook has evolved, and, certain people have really just, I think that my Facebook reflects my life, and it is real life now. Your social media, we're attached to our phones, we're attached to our social media. And, when you don't have your significant other involved in that, it's a little bit odd at this point. Unless you're, some kind of artist that really only uses it for business. Very clearly, and then there,
like your shit better say some type of a trademark name.
Yeah. Some people, maybe a music artist or whatever, a business, and you only use it for that. Then that's fine. Maybe you don't want the public in your life. But if you're posting selfies every 5 minutes, you're not a private person. I'm sorry. But you're just not. I've had people tell me like I'm a private person, and usually private people aren't out there on social media, so it's kind of not a great excuse.
I think the way that I've set up my social media now is my Facebook is probably more my life. Right? Because of those folks that are there, they've been accepted, and those are my life. Like those are like you'll see a little bit more personalized.
Right.
Whereas my Instagram and other like Twitter and other variations, it's just like my interest of social society, like social parts. And
right, that's a really good way to put it.
like that's the separation of it, right? Like my mom is on one, but not on the other. Like those kind of things.
Yeah, my mom's blocked from all my social media. That's not,
No, I hate that my
same-
mom's like up on Instagram now. I'm like so annoyed. I'm like, stop catching up.
I gave
You know
up
what
on
I'm saying?
that. I gave up on that. Like she can see it all now. I don't think she realizes when she's watching my story that she's watching my story. So I don't have to explain it as long as I'm not there presently with her watching.
Right.
I'm good. But I think that's how I've learned to separate it now is that, like my Facebook is like using these platforms in variations for what they're for and different matters. So one is personal life and the other pieces are what I have going on and what I want you to be a part of and what I want your support on and those kind of things and those aspects. But relationship wise, I mean, I haven't been in that circumstances yet, so I guess we'll find out soon enough.
I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough because there's a balance between like, you kind of don't want to post this sometimes because it's like, yo, like I really don't want people to even see this shit sometimes because it's like, I don't mean to sound paranoid, but it's like, you know how when you have something of value, you don't want to like share it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just don't let people borrow certain things from me. You know what I mean? And it's like I feel like when you put in your relationship out there so much, it's like you're lending that shit out for other niggas to live through that. And it's like, I don't want to share that sometimes. And it's like, I really feel like that about a lot of that. But then again, I realize that, you know, it kind of piques people's interest at times. And at this moment, I'm not going to lie, it's more convenient for people to find you interesting.
absolutely. Yeah, you want people... See, when you're... I mean, I'm a comedian and, you know, I do these podcasts and you girls do this podcast. And, you know, a lot of times your fans, they want to feel like they know you.
Absolutely.
You know, and you kind of, you know, I like to engage with my fans and I like them, you know, I talk about a little bit about my personal life on my podcasts. And, you know, so I do integrate that into Instagram. Not so much Twitter, like you were saying. Like, Twitter's kind of like, you know, I tweet some jokes. I retweet, you know, podcasts that I do, and that's kind of it. I'm not putting, like, personal details up on Twitter. And I try not to put personal details really anywhere. But at the same time, I mean, your personal life, you know, as an entertainer in the spotlight is your life and it is your work.
It has become to the point that we have to accept that it's kind of like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's intertwined. Again, like I was saying, you know, if you're a private person, then you're not in this kind of business.
And it's funny how throughout the years how social media does have the huge impact in your personal life, work life.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Like that, like what you do now on there. So let's say your boss doesn't know I don't want people to know who I'm dating at work.
Right.
Like I don't need them to be
That's
all
true.
up in that.
You know, it's so weird now. Like, you know, when you start a job and like you get cool with people and like they ask you for your Instagram super early and you're like, whoa.
No.
Like,
no. I have
like,
to
that's
know.
fucking
I used
personal.
to be a person. Yeah, I used to be a person who literally until I moved here, because here I didn't know anybody, so I have to have my Instagram a little bit more available.
Yeah.
But I didn't start following any of my coworkers probably until like 6 months after working with them, because then I caught on to who they are. Like I got an idea of a little bit.
Because you don't know
of
who's
who
a
they are.
snitch at work.
Oh,
Real
totally.
shit.
Yeah, you know, and it's also when I was working in corporate America and I was doing comedy at night, I didn't want a lot of people knowing because I didn't want them knowing, you know, what time I stayed out till at night or, you know, any of my personal
Yeah,
business.
why you called out sick yesterday.
Exactly. So you kind of, and also, you know, my subject matter is not corporate friendly. And I
Right.
don't
Yes.
need anyone picking up a video of me and then, you know, sending it to a supervisor and, you know, being like, well, Tracey talked about dicks for 15 minutes on stage, you know, in front of 1,000 people last night. You know, that's not great.
And that's true.
And so, you know, what you do is you ask them for their Instagram and you just block them. So you know exactly who to block. I got to tell you, I had all my coworkers blocked on Facebook at my old
You're
job.
a fucking genius.
Yeah, I don't even play that game. They couldn't even search me.
Wow,
That's really fucking smart.
Yeah.
I used to be that person where like I like, again, I have to open up, like you have to open up to me a little bit. I gotta see what your personality like. You know, when you find that that coworker friend or like that work husband
That becomes like your best friend in life.
Yeah, because you
work?
spend all day long at work.
Yeah.
yeah, so that's when I was like, here's the Instagram. Like, you know, like
We're
That's the
there.
next level. That's like an engagement ring.
Yeah, and then the day you quit, you're like, yo, this shit is open for everybody. You know,
Right.
I quit work and all my old coworkers are all
You're
up on
like
my
taking
Facebook.
shots.
You had all your
shit
boobs
off of
up,
people.
You're like, this is what my ass looks like naked.
Yeah, I feel like, here, bitches. This is what
Fuck
I
your
was
job.
up to. This is why I was sick every Monday. This is why I was, you know, like, all of that. Like, and then they learned all these things that I was doing. Because you know what happened to me one time also? I let someone in early, and she's probably listening, and she knows who she is. But our workspace is this big open workspace, and she walks in super hyped up and goes, "Oh my God, Marley, I heard the podcast." I go, She goes, "I heard the podcast." Cool. I said, "Move here now." I said, "Come over here." I was like, "Don't do that. Don't talk about it." Because it wasn't our conversations. Again, our conversations that we're having about isn't for everyone to hear. And I don't want to walk into work with people knowing all my stuff. So
It's super intimate. Right.
yeah, so I learned a little lesson on that part. But as for being upset for in the relationship part, I mean, what do you think about that part, Tracy? The relationship aspect of it.
Oh, the relationship. I'm having the worst time with this. So the relationship aspect of it, like I said, you know, if you are legitimately a private person and you have, you know, there's some people that follow you on Instagram. You ever look through and it's like, I don't even see a picture of their face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like pictures of like puppies and macaroni and cheese, and you're like, okay, that might be a private
and quotes.
person. Exactly, yeah, motivational quotes.
I hate quotes. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna just say it
Inspirational quotes. That's how you know someone's having a
cannot.
nervous breakdown.
There's a, like, to me, very quickly, I'm sorry. To me, I have become this thing where, like, your Instagram, you gotta clean it sometimes.
Oh, I don't believe in that ever.
No, but no, like a quote back to back to back to back. Like, if
Oh
you post
yeah, you have to mix it up a little bit, but I don't believe in ever deleting anything.
Okay, but not like 6 quotes back to back.
No, I mean that's when you know someone's having a breakdown.
Okay.
That's when you call your friend and you're like, step away from the phone. Do you have like, you know, are you in the bathtub with a toaster? What's happening here? Yeah.
Oh.
That's when you know something's going on. But yeah, I mean, I've had my friends have my password. My 2 best friends, Noelle and Gabrielle, they have all my passwords because you know, everyone has like that password that you've used forever.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
and you hate when they ask you to reset it. You're like, never.
Oh my God, I know, because it's like I'm never going to remember this. But you know, it's like your best friends know your password, and my best friends know my password. And I made a very snarky remark on someone's picture on Instagram, and instantly, my friend went into my account and deleted it and was like, "Not today, Tracy."
You have a good friend.
Yes. She's like, "I'm so sorry, but that was really crazy."
The question is, why did you need that on deck? It's the real question. Like, there was a reason why she has the ability to do this, because you're like trigger happy.
Yes.
Like she has.
I am the public breakdown queen.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's like, "Let me pull you away from this."
Right.
Just
put
move back.
the computer down, go outside. And I'm like, I'm going to go outside with my computer. How about that?
That's fantastic. I love this.
That's awesome. I don't think I have anyone who has my password. My sister knows all my passwords, but I don't think that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it comes in handy. You need that friend that's going to help you if you're, you know, a crazy social media person.
Honestly, I don't have anyone that knows my password. That's interesting.
Well, you better correct that.
I need to. Apparently, I don't have a kit. Like, there's like a kit to this. You know what I'm saying? But I think that it's interesting that you've had public breakdowns, and I think that's awesome that you're giving us advice on what to do now when
absolutely.
we see this happening. Because there's people that are about to get unfollowed for these things. It's like, yo, you're getting on my fucking
Oh, no,
nerves.
that's when I follow you even more closely. I love to watch a public breakdown.
Wow. Well, see, you're like me then, because I'm a little sneaky in the sense of, like, I look at the little comments, and like when you see the back and forth in the comments,
I
you're like,
love
let's trace this.
Oh my God, I absolutely love it. And the best thing
Where
to
did
do
this
is just a little bit of advice. When you see a breakdown, you have to screenshot it immediately, because most of the time they get deleted.
Very good observation.
You know,
I have
Especially
done that.
celebrity comments or something like that. You'd be like, let me screenshot this real quick.
Anything. You know, it's like, never forget. You have to keep your hand on the screenshot. Because there's some kind of like there's some kind of quote flying around on Instagram now, and it's like you could delete your status, but you can't delete the screenshot I sent my best friend.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it because it happens daily.
It lives forever in screenshots.
It lives forever. And it was funny. We were talking about something where reminded me Will Smith had said something that it took him so long to join Instagram because celebrities had to have some mysteriousness to them.
Right.
Before, back in the day, like you didn't know what they were doing, but they were just like such a big movie star, and that's what made you excited. Yeah. And now we know everything about these people. Like Rihanna, when are you posting? Beyonce, my notifications are on when she posts. Like you're so invested in it, and I think that's the same thing now, where we put ourselves out there publicly.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And like, we're all now in the forefront. Like it used to be, I didn't know what you were doing out there in Miami, but if I check on your story,
right,
you're like, well, this girl.
It kind of keeps you like up to date, and it's like I feel like at times I feel like it takes away my responsibility of having to check in.
Yeah, you don't have to keep in touch with anyone anymore.
I don't need to text you.
You know, like I know you're active in my life because you be keeping up with my shit. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? So it's like, yeah.
Between Twitter and you know your podcast, I had a friend, one of my best friends, Joey. I hadn't spoken to him in a month, and I called him and I was like, Joe, what's going on? And he's like, I'm so sorry. He's like, you know, I feel like I talk to you every week because I listen to your podcast.
Oh, that's
you know, that
cute.
happens. The same thing has happened to me. There's so many people that I haven't hung out with in so long, and when they see me, they're like, you know, every time I heard the podcast, it just made me miss you because it's like, damn, it's like you all haven't spoken to Diana in that long. You know, like it kind of gives you that like fulfillment oh, this is what you still sound like, and you do think this way, and it's interesting that you think this way because I personally know you. Like a lot of people, like they like that.
Absolutely.
I find that with Facebook. And so, like, I find that with Facebook, I'd be like, I know you're fine. You post
absolutely. Like, you know, people have kids, right? They're pregnant, they have the whole kid. You watch everything, and then you see them in real life, and they're like, oh, you want to see my baby? I'm like, listen, I know your baby's middle name. I know its birth weight. I have been looking at pictures of your baby since before you were born. I saw your sonogram. I saw it inside of you.
Yes.
So don't even worry because I have 4 pictures of your baby saved on my phone right now.
We were at the gender reveal via video.
I was at the gender reveal. I haven't seen you since 7th grade. But I have,
but we know it.
Yeah, but I have pictures of your baby. Once in a while, I like to look at pictures. I don't like kids in real life, but I love looking at baby pictures. So once in a while, I'll like send a message to like someone maybe I worked with like 20 years ago, and I'll be like, "Hey, right now you have my favorite baby on Facebook. I just want to let you know."
That makes them feel special, I bet.
Yeah,
that's cute.
Yeah, I like to rate the babies.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
I wonder how you rate the ugly babies.
Oh, yeah. Well, they get a screenshot, and then they get sent into the group text, and I'm like, oof.
Oh, my God. Vicious. That's
evil. Yo, Tracy's group chat is lit. Nobody needs to break into there.
My group chat, I don't even know. I think I would be in jail with my ex-boyfriend if anyone saw my group chat.
Whatever you do not get into Tracy's cloud.
I'd be on love after lockup.
Get in it immediately. What's wrong with you? I love shit like that.
She'll be on love after lockup.
Oh man, you know what my favorite thing though to watch on social media? My favorite thing is when and what you were saying before, like how you don't want to let people into your private relationship because I'll see a girl, right, and she posts this guy, and every single picture is with him. And then all of a sudden, you stop seeing pictures with him. And what I usually do is I like to go back. And I like to go, and then you fall into the wormhole. And either she has deleted all evidence of him, and he cheated on her.
Right.
Or he's still there from 2015.
Oof,
and you're like, she can't let go.
Right.
And it's hilarious.
Damn, but wait, there has to be like a balance.
I know, but I feel like if you put your boyfriend in my face so badly that I know everything about him, and now you just stop posting, I feel like you owe me a post explaining what happened.
Yeah, if you're gonna be this forefront, if you're gonna be
agree with this.
Yeah,
what the fuck is wrong with you?
Listen, there was a girl that I went to high school with, right? And she was posting about her wedding, pictures of her and her fiance making out, right? All of a sudden, wedding canceled. And you know what she did? She posted a long post about how he cheated on her and all the details.
That's right.
And you know what? I was like, thank you so much, because I was wondering.
Now you're a responsible fucking Instagrammer.
And you know what?
Like,
6 months later, she's engaged to someone else.
Wow.
Oh my God, 2 months later, she's pregnant. And I'm like, wow, she really moved on.
Impressive.
Good. You know what? Good for her, but also I'm judging.
Because it was so quick.
Bitch, you're a fucking serial monogamous.
And I'm like, well, she was
just crazy.
she was clearly ready to get married.
Very.
Yeah.
She had the dress. I mean, it was really just plug in the guy, and I love it. One other thing that I really like too is when my friends have just not actual friends, but like, you know, Facebook friends, when they have children and you don't know who the father is and they don't make it clear.
Right.
Do you ever go through all their pictures to
or
see?
they have like the baby shower with like all the homegirls.
Right, but there's no evidence of who the father is.
No.
And it's like you want to message them and be like, hey, who's the father of your kid?
What?
But instead you can't, so you have to go through every single picture and match up the guy with the baby. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
Oh,
you
come
go deep into
on.
a rabbit hole, Tracey.
That's crazy. I look at comments and shit, and I'll do things like that, but I won't necessarily do the investigation that you're doing. Jesus.
You are showing me your baby. Who is the father of your baby?
It's like Maury.
Yeah,
Like,
you
she's
owe
like,
me
I need
that,
to
though.
know.
Don't post
I
your
mean-
baby unless you're going to give me details.
I think the baby thing is cute, but I think that it also kind of gave a message to people now that they should love children. Because it's
not me.
like, I feel like people used to like use the kid thing because it was in style and you get mad likes. Like, I feel like it got to the point that it's like, why is everybody always randomly taking a picture with a cute ass kid?
Oh,
and
I
I
did
feel
it.
like it's for the likes.
Yeah,
and it's,
absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? And it's like now it's like, are you now like, do people really love children, or is
No.
this like good for ratings? Like, I
No,
don't know.
love babies.
my friend had a kid recently, January 2nd, at the hospital hours later, me, holding the baby, picture for Instagram. Do it for the gram.
Does
Right.
the baby have its own
How did it
Instagram
do? How did it
page?
do?
Honestly, it did pretty well. I think it was over
see what I'm
200
saying?
likes.
See what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that shit gets reactions.
Sometimes you got to travel. You know what I mean? Like, you have to do things for your social media that... I'm looking at it right now. Oh, 258 likes.
Everything has to be
that's solid.
Instagrammable.
Yeah, thank you. I
nowadays, too.
appreciate that.
Everything has to be Instagrammable nowadays. Anything that you do has to have an Instagram.
It's the only reason I leave my
component to it.
house.
Yeah.
But you know what's really cool? Miami has a tour now that is like that you pedal. You know those pedaling things and you drink at the same time. So they have this tour and with like 10 people, and the tour is the Instagram tour of Wynwood. So they take you to the best Wynwood locations where you can get the best Instagram pictures
Love
at
it.
every
That's
location.
dope.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. And it's like, it's supposed to promote fitness. So like people can do that during the day to like get around and you're
Wait, you're
riding
drinking
a
a
bike.
beer as you're pedaling, and that's promoting fitness?
Yes, in
I don't
Miami
know.
it is. In Miami it is. When
Wow.
you pedal while you're drinking, at least you're working out.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a museum in LA. It's a pop-up museum right now, and it's something like that. It's the Instagram, and it's all different situations where you're going to get the best Instagram pictures.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
they're
pretty
doing a
cool.
lot
What
of,
a trend.
like that Museum of Ice Cream. Like they're
Yeah.
doing a lot of those kind of pop-ups.
Yes.
And it's really just targeted to people who, obviously this society and this culture, who just wants to get fucking the best Instagram picture.
It's all I have.
Yeah.
It's all it's about. So they'll make like things extravagant. So
It's really all I have. If you're scrolling through my Instagram, please like my picture. I'm going to not
my
be okay
God.
without it. So
the worst is that when you see a friend who doesn't like your picture and you'll be like, what is happening?
I'll confront you.
Like, why didn't you like the picture?
So you don't like my picture?
But Instagram has their algorithm has really messed up the viewing of the pictures, I think.
You know
I
what?
miss
Go to my
things.
profile. It's
Yeah.
as my friend.
should visit
it's
my
your
profile every
job
day.
to go to my profile, check on what I'm doing, like my pictures. I don't care if you have to like 20 in an hour. Catch up.
Why don't you go ahead and tell people your Instagram so they can look
My
at it right
Instagram
now?
is Trixie Tuzzini, TrixieTuzzini, and that's on Instagram and Twitter.
There you go.
Yeah, check it out.
No, check it out. No, but seriously, like I feel like when there's certain pictures that you post and like your real friends don't like them, you be taking that shit super personal because it's like, hold up, like this is an important picture that you should definitely like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like if you skip this one, okay, you may skip the other one, but this one you must like. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel that way about certain things I post on Instagram.
Yeah,
Honestly.
absolutely. That's when you just screenshot it, you put it in the group chat. And you're like, excuse me, I'm sorry, did no one see this? No,
That's a good move.
None of you saw this. At all? Okay, no, I was just
So
checking.
that's the price you pay when you're in that lit ass group chat you have. You have to deal with that
Absolutely.
annoying bullshit of this bitch fucking shoving it in your face. That is like you must
Go like my
participate.
or I'll go retweet me.
Yeah, unfortunately my friends aren't into Twitter like I am, but I definitely send them like, can we? I just sent a message like the
I've
picture.
never gotten into Twitter. I don't know what it is, but it's like I just cannot.
People on
get
Twitter love
into that.
podcasts. That's the only reason I'm on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I tweet every time I post because I have a link because that's the only way I'm able to keep up and
Right.
being active. But honestly speaking, like it's not my cup of tea. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's
I
just
agree
not
with you.
my thing.
Twitter's not really my thing either. It's not as interesting. I like a more visual.
It's
I
not as
guess.
interesting as it used to be. I will say this, that Twitter was a whole different world about 5-7 years
Well, it's
ago.
the only place
It
that
was
we could
more
really
real.
find celebrities at the time, and now everyone's on Instagram.
Yeah. And well, at that time, like, celebrities were, like, actually holding their phone and tweeting out bullshit.
Right.
Right.
Where people had to be, like, take it away from them. Like, that's where, or not even that, there weren't that many people, so, like, the people you actually were talking to were, like, some sort of industry or celebrity. Like, they were really in there. And it became, like, this collective of people, like, this collective of conversation. Now it's just like drowning in politics
Advertisement.
and advertising and like a real political realm
Yeah,
of it.
absolutely,
And like
it does.
like it's like drowning in it and you're just like I just can't, like, where's the jokes? Where's the bullshit? Where's the stupid videos? Like, where's the trash talk?
They're
Like,
on
those kind of
Instagram.
things. Not moved to Instagram. But Twitter used to be that little, like, Twitter was very different. And that's why I enjoy it, because I have a small nostalgia to it. But whatever. I can't believe I said nostalgia on Twitter, because that's a whole nother thing.
Damn, that shit means that shit is over. Just like when fucking Kylie tweeted that Snap was over, and their
they
fucking
lost, like, $1
stock
billion?
plummeted. Yeah, like that shit is
That
crazy.
shit's crazy.
Yeah, I've never been into Snap. I feel like I'm too old to even learn it. I don't get it.
It's not worth it anymore.
It's
too
hard.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I like the
change is
filters.
I
keep
like
it
a
for
good
the
filter.
filters.
I like the pretty one.
It's not only that, like, you know how sometimes, like, for example, on my posts, I usually have to create because I've already created this tradition. Of course, I don't always feel like it, but I make a video every single Monday promoting my podcast. And I always
Right.
say, hey, listen. It's given traffic. It provides people another way to pay attention for whatever reason, either because they can't stand me or because they like to hear what I'm saying, whatever it is. At least they're stopping. You know what I'm saying? So I had to keep up with that. And at times, it's kind of like they must be bored of seeing the same thing. So if I put myself in the stupid bunny ears or in this and that and the fourth, it's going to at least make you stop for a second. Because
Right.
that was a popular filter for that day. So it still helps in certain avenues, especially when you're trying to get noticed. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
That's why people do this for a living. People literally tweet for a living.
Yeah.
People
Yeah,
are
and
going
get
on
paid for
Instagram for
that.
a living. Absolutely.
And that's the next step.
And it's so crazy, you know,
Instagram.
right? Because, Tracy, I know that you didn't know, but tonight when I was texting with you earlier, I was at a Women in Radio dinner.
Oh, that's
which was-
beautiful. This
it was-
is Women's History Month as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So it was really nice. It was a beautiful way to kick off the month for me because I was amongst a lot of inspiration. I was amongst a lot of women who were basically kind of just saying, like, look, I'm just trying to get picked up. You know what I'm saying? How do I, take it to the next level, or I can't break through? Like, there was this one girl that she works the weekends and she has 3 jobs. She's like, look, I'm hustling. And this chick flew from Kentucky to come to this because this
Oh,
is
wow.
how hungry this chick is. So she's like, look, I have 3 jobs. I do the radio on the weekend, and I just want to be able to get a better show, something that can pay me, something that I don't have to work so hard so that I can still live my life and still have a job, etc. Like, she's just really a starving artist,
Right.
So they were just telling her, like, yo, you're so close, it's crazy. Like, the fact that you're even in there is like you're in the building. Like, how can you not see that you are pretty much moments away from your moment?
That's exciting.
And it's exciting as hell. Like, to see like that ambition coming out of her and knowing that they're really right because there is a formula to this of some kind. So that she was there and like she had won an award for like her show being recognized as one of the best in like the country.
Wow.
Whatever. Yeah, really cool. So it was nice to be amongst women
Winners.
that have the same hustle that you have, but it's like you know, there's great competition out here, but it's healthy competition. Like that was the message today. Like it's okay to have good, equal people who do well. That's why we wanted to do cross podcasting like we're doing with you,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it's like this is not a competition anymore. This is let's
Oh,
help
there's
each
enough
other
spots
get
for
there.
everyone. And
Let's get there.
Yeah, absolutely. In comedy and podcasting, I think that a lot of times, so what I've been trying to do, and what I'll share with you guys as well at another time, is I've been trying to just figure out, you know, different ways to promote and different ways to succeed in, you know, in the business of comedy, in the business of podcasting and everything. And I'm trying my very best to share any knowledge that I have, anything that I've learned, any tips or tricks with everyone who's in the game.
It's awesome.
Because, you know, it's like we cannot hold each other down. We cannot. We need to lift each other up, and we need to share every single thing, because that's how people find out. And it's really weird, especially in the entertainment industry, how people think that everyone is in direct competition with each other, and you're just not.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
no one
there's
is
room for everyone.
Exactly. If my podcast is doing well, it doesn't mean that yours cannot do well. We can
That's
both
true.
do really well, and we're not in direct competition with each other. And you know, if you're sharing your knowledge, then we're all just becoming stronger, especially as women.
And the other part of it, all that also is there's room for everyone, but content matters.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And like the content that you create is what will separate you apart from everyone else to allow that space in that room for you.
100%.
So it's you know, it's about developing your craft and making yourself better, but there is space for everyone. And I think I'm excited to continue growing on the podcast.
You know, it's
side of
really
things.
fun that you said that, because when I was speaking, let me look up her name on the itinerary thing here. What was her name? Somebody got a message. Let me see. Oh, Elizabeth Hammer. That was her. She was the actual one of the keynote speakers tonight, and she
Right.
was saying that she gave really good advice about, you know, you have to get into the industry by just doing whatever is needed at that time. Like, don't think that because you're not getting a hosting gig and you're not getting this and you're not getting that, that you're not getting a radio job. There's plenty of things that radio stations are hiring for that have nothing to do with that, and that's what you need to do. Like
Oh,
at this moment,
absolutely. Absolutely.
at
You
this
have to go in
moment,
at the
you
bottom
just-
a lot of times, and that's fine.
and there's
nothing
no
wrong
such
with it.
thing as internships anymore for
Yeah.
anyone that's not currently in college. She's like, stop wasting your time, you know, trying to do the intern work for free thing, because they don't do that anymore. They basically, you have to know someone, you have to work there, you have to be a part of it somehow before they even put you in that position.
Yeah,
That's
I mean-
literally what I learned today.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a good friend of mine, Steven, and he was working, you know, his idol was Howard Stern, and he started working, you know, on the very bottom from Howard Stern, and he's getting airtime now.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And that's really, really exciting. And, you know, he comes out to my shows sometimes, and he's actually performed on my shows a few times. And Shuli from Stern is taking him on the road with him, performing stand-up comedy.
I admire Howard Stern, seriously.
Yeah,
Like, I do.
oh, absolutely. Howard Stern is one of the greatest interviewers of our time.
I want to make sure people know that radio's not dead. There's another aspect. That's a different conversation for the thing of it, but people don't realize how much an influence radio still plays. And this podcast game is a part of that. Is all
Absolutely.
a part of that attachment. So it's really fantastic.
Yeah, you ladies are
Tracey-
doing a great job, too.
Tracy, will you tell us a little how you kind of like what's coming up with your podcast? What other shows you have coming up?
Oh, yeah,
Anything
absolutely.
coming up?
So my Teen Mom Trash Talk podcast, it actually just hit 29 on iTunes. So that was,
Nice.
yeah,
Wow,
thank you.
congrats.
Thank you so
That's
much.
awesome.
Yeah, a lot of hard work. You know, and my podcast is kind of unique because a lot of podcasts that I do, at least, it's usually comedians that are on it. And I just decided to start this podcast with my two best friends who've never been in radio, they've never been in entertainment, and we're really just having our, you know, group chat live on a podcast. That's what's going on. So we watch Teen Mom, MTV's Teen Mom, and we recap it every week, and we just have the best time with it. And we do talk a little bit about ourselves, and we have, you know, some very loyal fans, and we're really lucky to have that. And then I have Neurotica with a very good friend of mine and fellow comedian Justin Silver, who's adorable if you guys want to look him up. Really, really handsome guy. So we talk about sex and anxiety. We met in the comedy scene, and Justin suffers from OCD, and I suffer from OCD and crippling anxiety, both of us. And we just bonded over that, and we were like, hey, this is a podcast. So you could check that out. Neurotica, Neurotica, and we're Neurotica Pod on Instagram and Twitter. And you could check out any shows that I have coming out. I have some road dates coming up at TraceyCarnazzo.com, and of course on my Instagram and Twitter at Trixie Tuzini.
By the way, I'm excited for next week's episode where they figure out how they fired Farrah.
Oh, well, I don't know if you know, but we had Farrah's dad as a guest on our show.
What? That's awesome.
Michael Abraham, the one and only. And I got to tell you, so I had to pull out, and we were just talking about Stern, and I totally had to pull out my Stern skills on this one because if anyone watches Teen Mom, and if you don't, a lot of people know who Farrah Abraham is anyway. She's the teen mom who made the porn, and it's rumored that her father negotiated her
got a lot of work done.
Yeah, a lot of work. That's putting it mildly. She got all the work done.
Yeah.
she has, I think, gallons of cement in her ass.
Jeez Louise.
And her father was rumored to have negotiated her porn contract with.
What?
Oh my God.
And
How Hollywood is this?
Well, they're from Iowa or something like that.
Yeah.
Right, but like this sounds like the type of shit that happens in these worlds. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So we were lucky enough. I contacted him, and he reached out back, and he was interested in the podcast. And we talked on the phone for a little while, and we texted back and forth for a few days, and he decided to do an interview. And a lot of people wanted me to attack him. And they wanted me to ask him and shame him and ask him these hard questions. But, that's not really how you do an interview with anyone, whether you agree with them or not.
Yeah.
They're being kind enough to grace you with their presence on your podcast. And, you have to respect everyone. And also, you don't know anyone's story. You know what you hear.
Right.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, we were super kind to Michael, and Michael was very kind to us. And we have, Michael and I have developed a friendship.
That's awesome.
And, we text back and forth, and he's just really like a very nice guy. And I think that Farrah's mom really fucked her up. And I think that that's a lot of her attitude. And Michael is really just trying to, sometimes there's not much you can do.
That man was bulldozered in that home. Like, it was
Well, that's the whole thing.
insane.
And you know what? You could tell, like, getting to know him a little bit more now. And, he says, like, I support my daughter no matter what. What am I going to do? That's my daughter. I love her. And it's like, you kind of have to respect that. Because people are like, if I was Michael.
It's a little gross.
It's super gross, but people say like, if I was Michael, I'd punch her in the face, and it's like, that's your daughter. It's still your daughter. Some interesting things that we talked about on that episode were that, so Farrah has done porn, and she does like webcam shows a lot, and her daughter has seen them. Her daughter's 9 years old.
What?
They do not restrict her internet access whatsoever.
This is a whole other episode.
Right. This is definitely something that needs to be to be continued at this point.
Yeah.
About social media and kids. Like,
oh God.
No.
It's scary. It's very scary. And that was like, the most, as far as doing porn, like, I don't really judge her for that. I judge her for her nasty attitude towards people.
It breaks my heart when I see her, like, not breaks my heart, but like, it just like irritates the shit out of me when she's yelling.
Yeah, because there's
She's
something
the most
wrong with her.
annoying bitch in the planet.
But it's more than that, though,
honest.
because you know what? We know a lot of annoying bitches, and no one's that bad.
Yeah.
There's something.
Hers is a level.
Yeah, there's something wrong with her. There's something very, very disturbed inside of her that makes her act like that to other people.
And she's been acting like that since 16.
Oh, totally.
That's the weird
yeah,
part.
It's not like she became that. I mean, she's definitely gotten worse.
She's
but she wasn't
consistent
good.
with the shit, though.
Oh, she's pretty consistent, yeah.
She's consistent as hell with it. Man, Tracy, I gotta catch up on that.
I saw her. You know where I saw her in $1 Million Matchmaker, whatever that shit's called.
Yes,
With the lady with the black hair.
She does any.
She was
show.
on that.
Yeah, she does every show.
She was annoying in that shit too. I was like,
It's who she is.
Marriage boot camp.
Yeah, she was, and I actually
Without
just
being
downloaded all
married.
of them, and I'm going to be watching them. Michael really is pushing that show.
Oh gosh.
So we're going to watch it and recap that one as well.
All right. Well,
Well, this was fun, guys.
Yeah,
This was
absolutely.
amazing. We appreciate you joining
Oh my
us,
God, thank you so
Tracey.
much for having me. I cannot wait to push your episode out with you guys.
Yay!
Yes.
We
Yeah.
appreciate it. And let us know whenever you want us to be a friend of the pod and come through and show you guys love.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Do you guys both
definitely.
watch Teen Mom?
I do.
I can catch up for sure.
Oh, you better catch up.
I don't have actual cable, so I have to
Oh, I don't have
log
cable
on.
either. We're not rich over
Yeah.
here. Come on.
So I literally have to be like, what went on today? And I'll
No,
be
what
like,
you got to do is you
here
have
we
to
go.
get your friend's cable login.
Oh, I do. I have someone's Xfinity.
And there you
login.
go. There you go.
And I was trying to watch the Oscars, but the Oscars won't let you watch on Xfinity.
Oh,
on
come
the online.
on.
So I was like,
Some of us are struggling.
exactly.
But doesn't like those networks? They don't have like an app by now that they can stream this shit live.
Yeah, you have to like become for ABC, you have to actually download the app. But I'm on my laptop. I'm not going to download. I don't have the app on there. But
Watch
using
it on
the
your phone.
Yeah, but using the Xfinity login, I can literally watch TV with you guys live because everything's there. So that's how I catch up.
Well, we've learned in this entire time of the podcast that we've had with Marley, this bitch has a fucking shortcut and a way around.
Oh, I love that.
everything.
That's
Like,
such a
this
great
is like-
quality.
when you're struggling, you got to find your ways to make. Imagine if I had
100%.
children. I need everyone's logins. If I had children, I would have been like, I need all the logins.
I need your diaper
Baby.
login.
to the actual fucking bank account at this point. She's like, I need everyone's logins.
Can I have the diaper and formula login? Thanks.
Yes. Anything. So I gotta gotta push it around. Thank you so much, Tracey, for joining us.
Thank you, ladies, so much. And we have to celebrate Women's History Month.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Shout out
This
to
is
all
a
the
great
ladies
way to
out there
start off
doing
the
their
month.
thing.
Amazing.
Great way to start off the month. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. And everyone out there, all our Messy Mondays listeners, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Messy Mondays Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Messy Mondays Pod. Email us your Messy Mondays stories or any comments or suggestions you have at messymondays.pod@gmail.com. Follow me at lovemarley_. Follow Show Me at
SHOMI_ENT. That's show me _ENT.
and
Messy
this was
Mondays.
fantastic, and we'll catch you guys next Monday.
Have a great Monday, guys. Your girl Marley Marr. Messy Mondays. Messy Mondays. Your girl Show Me. Your girl Marley Marr. Messy Mondays. Messy Mondays. Your girl Show Me. Your girl Marley Marr. Messy Mondays. Messy Mondays. Your girl Show Me. Your girl Marley Marr. Messy Mondays. Messy Mondays. Your girl Show Me. Your girl Marley Marr. Messy Mondays. Messy Mondays.